Okay, outdoor Halloween edition of Profit 101. And I want to talk about hiring some more. This time, not fractionally, but let's start by talking about hiring juniors, as in new college grads or maybe folks that are coming into their first or second job, you know, in their career. A lot of value in that. I think once you've got a core, your co-founder team or your leadership team, then really you've got what you need. You can begin hiring some newer folks that folks that are new to the workforce. What are the advantages? What are the caveats? So a lot of companies actually don't hire juniors because they think that, oh man, we have to invest so much in them. The productivity is practically negative on day one. So we've got to invest, and then by the time we finish investing, they're going to quit and go somewhere else. Well, I will say that part's on you if they actually quit and go somewhere else, because that means that you didn't either incentivize them in terms of equity or in terms of opportunity, so they didn't stay. But things to keep in mind when hiring junior employees. Firstly, you got to have that core leadership team in place. So whether that's yourself, your co-founder, or others on the management team to help bring those folks up. Second, I would say that having other senior folks available, perhaps on a fractional basis. So you need that core, we'll say management team. You need that in place before you can really start this. Another thing to keep in mind is work in the office. Hey, nobody wants to hear it, but it's true. In your first job, most of you, it's quite likely that you did not start your career working remotely. And that's a challenging thing to do. How are you supposed to learn as effectively? So some degree of in-office, if not 5 days a week, then certainly hybrid. I think that has a lot of value when you're working with junior employees. And then finally, where does the payoff come from? Well, you'll find that as you're investing in these folks, the arc of productivity. So if I draw a quick chart here, this is actually an interesting graph. Let's just say that productivity starts at 0. So it starts at 0 and it starts to rise. That's the employee's productivity over time. Eventually it will level off. Nobody goes up to infinity, but it'll be more of an S curve. What about salary? So salary starts at a fixed point, and that rises too. But what you find happens is something like this, where productivity actually exceeds salary as you invest in a new hire. Now, when people go back and they find their second, third, fourth job, they'll tend to match their salary to their productivity. So if you get experienced workers, you're not going to benefit from this delta right here. Maybe this is a hint to some folks who've been in their job for too long to go looking. But from another perspective, from the company perspective, you're actually gaining that benefit because you invested in those workers and help make them more productive. And salaries don't tend to advance perfectly with productivity. So that's a reason to consider hiring junior. Even though you want nothing but big time contributors on day one, it'll save you money on the front end and it'll give you excess returns on the back end.